Hello, my name is Brad Molzen, the worldwide technical sales leader for Cognos Analytics and Watson Analytics. I'm here today with this internal use only enablement video, not to show how to do a customer facing demo, but to give you a tour of what's included in the new Vision Bike Share demo, how it works and how the story can flow. Material that is more customer facing, that highlights the value of why IBM, all can be found as part of this learning path and on Zax. Okay, so let's start off this demonstration by putting your customer into the context of the demo by suggesting they are the new operations manager of the Chicago-based bike share company. The operations manager would first need an easy and consumable way to understand what the current business plan is, or what the current goals of the organization are, and how the organization is performing against those goals. So that's why we are starting with this performance dashboard that shows the user how they are doing over time, and specifically how are they doing in the current month to date. Notice the dashboard immediately points out that the business is only at $7.8 million of revenue for the month, which is over 10.5% variance from plan. The column trend chart on the right visually confirms there is an issue and shows underperformance across 4 out of the 6 months of the first half of the year. Looking further down into the lower left, the solution immediately makes the underperforming districts of Chicago stand out, especially when we get to a district like the Loop. Even though the negative variance against the plan isn't the worst here, the actual dollar amount is terrible, suggesting this would be a good place to look for additional details as to why this district is hurting our efforts to exceed plan so badly. The solution then leads you down the path to insight as you drill through on the loop, down a level, to information about the individual bike share stations. The list of revenue detail and the Mapbox map immediately stands out as 2 ways to determine what stations within the loop are performing above or below plan. The map, however, allows additional interactivity and shows the user more of the context around where the loop is located in Chicago compared to all of the other districts that have bike stations. Finally, as can be seen by the station utilization trend on the bottom right, when utilization levels are over 90%, it means that the station's bikes are dangerously close to being fully utilized, or already are fully utilized, leaving no bikes at the station for new rides to happen. Notice some stations have that issue during the week, while others have it during the weekends. At these times, those stations are losing revenue that they should be bringing in order for the organization to hit their planned revenue targets. So, what has happened so far? With all of this easily accessible information at our fingertips, the solution has directed us to the information we need to start asking some new questions to drive more revenue for your business. With these stations not able to provide enough bikes for the customer demand, the question to ask jumps out at you. What is driving that demand? If you can find the answer to that question, that allows you to optimize for the number of bikes you need at each of these stations, and therefore increase your revenue attainment at each station. Now that the problem is set up, the path forward is to use the data science driven automatic data discovery capabilities that are built into the solution. Because it makes advanced analytic algorithms and data science accessible to anyone, it's the perfect place to start for the operations manager to ask what is driving the different levels of demand at the different bike share stations. This solution allows you to leverage all of your available data sources to your best advantage, such as this weather information, for instance, because it takes out the guesswork of traditional slicing and dicing of data by automatically showing real causal correlations of what is driving demand for these bikes. It won't show just one answer. It instead shows all relevant answers in order of importance. Each of these drivers of demand, or number of rides as we show here, can be very important in their own right, but the solution doesn't stop here. It continues forward with even deeper levels of insight by showing all available patterns that are buried across all your data columns. For instance, you may have already come to the conclusion that temperature plays a role in bike demand. But what are the statistically significant temperature ranges that make a difference? That is shown here. It continues with different patterns that involve humidity, precipitation, whether it's a weekend or not, and on and on. And the system was able to do this in minutes because of all the data science techniques and algorithms that a data scientist would use are all built in. So now that you aren't guessing any longer about what drives demand, your organization would then want to operationalize these patterns and advanced insights into a system that can predict future demand at the bike stations. The solution then makes this prediction capability accessible in the same interface that we started with. A user simply tells the system how far out they want to predict the demand, and the results are shown. Now that we have this incredible new predictive insight at our fingertips, how can we take advantage of it? Because we can now predict the future demand, we can also now optimize where we put the necessary number of bikes to satisfy that demand. If we run this built-in optimization plan as we have it now, with 500 bikes spread across the stations within the loop, the system shows us how many rides, based on the predictions we've just done, we would have missed, which equates to 390 very unhappy existing or future customers. The system then uses natural language to recommend how many additional bikes would be needed for an optimal plan that would satisfy all of the predicted demand. So when we add the additional 112 bikes to the loop as the solution instructed and rerun the optimization plan, we see the results are good and we won't be underserving our customers. So this should lead to a better result than we've been having, because now we haven't missed any available rides. Our revenue attainment should be much higher. But how much higher? Will we hit our revenue goals for the loop now? Let's find out by first drilling into the District of Chicago that we've been exploring and taking a close look at the membership and daily use row that represents the revenue we get from our customers riding the bikes. Our Q2 revenue was over 11% off of target. Let's see what the numbers would be when we load the data from our new optimization plan. Notice that we would now be much closer to hitting our revenue goals by using this optimized plan. So the solution has shown us a much improved result here. Now let's see what it can do to help us over the final hurdle to exceed our goals. It has us needing to attain almost $5 million in revenue for the quarter. Let's put that number into the optimized plan and see what it tells us. So now it shows that we only need to increase our marketing spend in order to exceed our goals, as shown here. So the system has led us step by step from beginning to end and told us how to solve our revenue problem. Now let's get into some real art of the possible and suggest one way to put this new plan into action. Imagine giving this chatbot application to your employees in the field whose job it is to move the bikes around from station to station. This app takes advantage of all of that data and science built into the solution and exposes it all in a very easy to consume manner. They'd simply ask what the expected demand is for the particular station they are visiting, and the app responds and tells them how many bikes to drop off and when. That wraps the explanation of this new Vision Bike Share demo video. Good luck and good selling.